So let's talk about it with our panel tonight. Isaac Wright, Board Solution Strategy Group Democratic strategist, and Charlie Hurt, opinion editor and columnist for the Washington Times. Welcome to you both.
Good evening.
Good to have you with us tonight.
Here.
Okay, I want to read from a piece in Vice, of all places. This is by Harry Cheadle. He says this about Saturday Night Live and where they've gotten to. He says, "Your cold opens are terrible, cringeworthy pieces of self-satisfied liberal propaganda that are sometimes so bad they seem like parodies of themselves. It's a toxic example of limousine liberalism, millionaires putting on a self-congratulatory show with jokes cribbed from the New York page." Isaac.
At least it's not like they made a joke about a dying U.S. Senator war hero, right? That's only for the White House staff.
I don't think that was meant to be a joke.
Yeah, look, as far as the satellite open skits, Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, I think a lot of this right-wing conservatives and Republicans are irritated and they don't like being the butt of jokes. My best advice would be quit doing funny, laughable things, and hopefully the media can get back to covering other stuff.
But do you think it's funny? I mean, I do watch Saturday Night Live sometimes because I don't mind who they're making fun of. If it's legitimately funny, I don't know that they've had very funny things lately. I mean,
I've been chuckling. I've been chuckling the last couple of weeks, yeah.
Well, listen, Charlie's chuckling now.
Well, no. I was chuckling because Amy Schumer had an absolutely hilarious skit. Of course, it had nothing to do with politics.
On the day you were born.
Yes, I mean, it was.
That
and
was good.
Of course, I sent it to my wife, who was away at the time, off for the weekend.
Everyone who's given birth to a child could appreciate that.
I said I was sorry that I couldn't watch the skit with you, but then again, we lived through it together. So,
yes, you did.
Of course, it's not political. But Christoph is exactly. I mean, I hate to agree with Christoph about something, but he is right about this. The media is obsessed with Trump, and it's not just obsessed with. They have an undying hatred for him that I think also clouds their judgment about a lot of things, a lot of stories. They fall for stupid stories that are not real, or they fall for stories that aren't very important because they'll believe anything about the guy just because they're blinded by hatred. And I do think that it prevents them from focusing on other very important stories that are going on. Although I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, because a lot of times I think that focus on other things has given this administration a lot of running room to do a lot of the serious stuff that they want to do, like at EPA or places like that, where that's just not getting a lot of coverage.
You're going to make Isaac's head explode. I want to make sure that we get to topic 2, though, because I want you both to weigh in on this. The idea that there were no Democrat lawmakers, elected lawmakers, who showed up today for the embassy dedication in Israel. Former Senator Joe Lieberman says this: "I hope that the Democratic members had scheduling conflicts and they had to be somewhere else. I hope that they don't see this as some kind of pro-Trump rally in Jerusalem. It's not. It's a pro-U.S. Israel friendship, partnership, alliance, ally, and it's celebrating the strengths of our relationship, which has been and always been bipartisan." And in fact, you guys know, moving the embassy years ago was a bipartisan measure.
Yeah.
And it's been supported for years and years by folks from both sides of the aisle. Senator Schumer, one of the folks who supported it today,
and politicians,
but he wasn't there.
They've run elections promising to do just this, and then they never do it. And then Trump is the first one to come along and says, well, and probably out of ignorance of how diplomacy is supposed to work in the Middle East, says, no, we're going to do it.
Isaac, would it have been helpful to have a bipartisan delegation there?
I don't really think so. I mean, look, there were 4 U.S. senators there. There are 96 other U.S. senators that didn't make it of both parties.
That's a House member.
I don't think that's a huge. I think 4% of the body is a huge sway one way or the other in terms of partisanship. I think the bigger question is, was this the right move? Was this the right time to make the move? What was gotten in return towards peace negotiations? I think those are much more substantive comments than what rows politicians got in the bleachers.
All right, Isaac and Charlie, there's been some laughters and chuckles, but no agreement tonight.
Right.
But all right, come back soon.
I think we can agree the jokes on Saturday Night Live get it right sometimes. They're funny, especially the Schumer skit.
If they're not
especially
political.
the Schumer skit.
No, I think some of the political ones are funny too. Just depends. All right, thank you both. All right.